Hey, and welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It's Wednesday. Tonight, Game 4 of the New York Knicks at home versus the San Antonio Spurs with a 2-1 lead. And frankly, they're playing against 5 versus 8 because they're playing against the refs also. That's tonight. That's where I'll be. I will have the picture of my father. I'm in the picture with my grandson and my sons. The picture will be next to me, and we'll be watching the game. And may I state for the record, probably an important game for the Knicks to win. 2-2. Then you got to win 2 in San Antonio. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, hope you're having a good day. Lots to cover. No. Lots to cover. We'll do the markets. We'll do the markets. The economy. Your job, your industry. War. And threats of more war. And whatever else, Usually I say scams, shams, corruption, you name it. Or how about a Nazi lover winning the primary of Maine Senate and is now calling Susan Collins a warmonger? Imagine that. Calling somebody else a warmonger while you were wearing the Totenkopf tattoo on your chest denoting the Nazi SS and then lying about it for 2 decades. And then you have the Democratic Party backing them just because you want to win. Screw your morals and principles. Basically, as you know, I can't stand any of them. Either side. I don't ever want to hear another frickin' word from the Democrat Party that is backing this prick on Donald Trump being bad and this guy being bad. Imagine you honored the Nazi SS, the murderers of 12 million people, 5 million of them Jews, in the most heinous way possible. I'm not even bringing up his other crap, the sexual predator part. That's just another add-on. Anyway, back to the markets. If you do not get this radio show in your city, we will post it at GaryK.com. We'll post it on our X feed. If you don't follow us on X, you should. And do not forget, I used to have 90,000 followers. And then years ago, before Elon was running Twitter, I said something to the effect of Bernie Sanders' economic policy is communism. And somebody complained. They shut me down for a day. They brought me back up, and I was down to 30,000. Welcome to the world. And if you like to email me, you just got to be respectful and nice. Disagree with me 1,000%. That's cool. I can disagree with you big time. And as long as you don't like Nazi lovers or Hamas lovers, we're going to be good. Disagreement is what makes the world go round, right? Okay, listen up. It's time for the Gary simplification of the markets. We've done this before many times. We're doing it again. Imagine if in the whole market was only 100 stocks. And imagine if each was the same influence in the market. 100 stocks. And imagine if, let's assume, your handsome and buffed host, who did 15 sets today of chest and buys. And I was going to do traps, but my neck is a little, You can assume that I know what a uptrend and a downtrend is, a bear market and a bull market, and all that. Assume that, okay? Give me that. And let's say those 100 stocks on a little watch are going from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Nice uptrend. Well, if all 100 are doing that and it represents an index for the market, that means you are in an uptrend in the market. Simple as that. Simple as that, right? Right. But what if 20 stocks flatten out. Well, you still have 80 in an uptrend, 20 flat, you're still going to go higher. But you have less participation. But what if those 20 stocks start heading down? Well, you now have 20 being a headwind to the index, but the 80 is still going up. Oh, what if 30 more flatten out? It's going to get a little bit tougher. And what if the 80 in the uptrends flatten out? And there's no such thing as flatten out in this market, but let's just say for the sake of it, and you have 20 in a downtrend. Well, the market is going to be heading a little bit lower. Not big lower, but lower. And of course, if those 80 start turning down, then you have a market that has changed complexion completely. But it doesn't really work that way. We do a simplifications for you to understand how we see things. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I want to talk about the semiconductors and artificial intelligence, because if I was to guess a number in this rally up, I'm going to guess that they were 80% of the rally for the indices. That's my guess. Is that okay? That's my guess. And some better than others. I can tell you, NVIDIA, the head honcho top dog big cheese, hasn't done much. While Micron, wow. But what we do is we have like about 100 of these semiconductors that is on a screen, but we also have the artificial intelligence trades. At least they tell us artificial intelligence. And that will include data storage, data centers, memory, the building and construction and the energy for those data centers, as well as the big machas that are going to be funding it or doing this, that, and the other thing. And due to the fact we think, and it's a guess, 75 to 80% of the move higher was them, well, it's imperative to gauge then when maybe they're not doing what they were doing beforehand. Maybe when all of a sudden, let's see, Sienna gaps down and keeps heading lower, or AEIS breaks down, AXTI breaks down, Broadcom, a big name, gaps down and follows through to the downside, Teradyne breaks the 50-day, NVIDIA breaks the 50-day today, or Supermicro announces some big frickin' stupid raising of money and is down 30% today. So what are we telling you? Well, the ice is getting a little thinner. Pretty much in that space, everything is topped out now. And when we say topped out, oh, trust me, there are things that have gone so big, this would be as normal can be, but other things not. And we're just letting you know, we started with that simplification to let you know we're trying to simplify for you that if 80% of the market has been, and that's a guess, artificial intelligence and semiconductors, and all of a sudden now that's turned, well, maybe it's going to be rough going for the indices that, as we have noted, are so influenced by technology types. And as we have stated, the S&P 8 stocks is over 30% of the S&P. It's close to 35. No, not kidding. 8 stocks are 35% of the S&P. 492 is 65%. With a bunch of them not even registering. NASDAQ 100, those 8 are like in the 60s. So if they get in trouble, and then recently the S&P 500, they knocked out 2 weak stocks out of the S&P and put in Marvell that just had a monster move in the trees where the CEO of NVIDIA said it's going to $1 trillion market cap, and another tech. So it makes it even more tech heavy. So we're just letting you know. Remember yesterday I was PO'd at myself because we sold our last tranche of the S&P and NASDAQ 100 late in the day, and then we reversed. I don't feel as bad today. Well, I feel bad that the market got hit hard today, but as far as that, I don't feel as bad. So the numbers, Dow was down 950, S&P 120, NASDAQ 509, NASDAQ 100 576. The SOX was down 451, but I must tell you, it felt like every time the market tried to rally today, the semis wanted to go higher, but the mallet came out on everything by the close. Transport's down 600. You know what the strength was today? Campbell Soup, Allstate, and the oil stocks. Oh, and by the way, some restaurant stocks were strong. But that's really about it. A very rough day as the ice getting thinner. And by my intensive deep scans, as we simplified for you, fewer and fewer stocks and more. Up next, we'll continue along these lines on this, the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So let me take a step away from what we were doing and we'll bring you right back to it, but we have to bring up the news. And we have to repeat something we have been saying. In a normal world, with a normal president, and that is not a put down, that is just based on how much he is out there. The polar opposite of Joe Biden, who, by the way, was never around, this guy never goes away. There have been nights where he's tweeted 50 times, not making this up. Well, Iran knocked down one of our helicopters, and we, in turn, started kicking their ass a little bit more. But then the president comes out and just out of nowhere, back to his, we're tonight, look out, we are going to, I can't even use the words. So we're right now thinking that we're really going to go after them again and meaningfully. And of course, oil prices went up today, yields went up because of that, and the market got trashed. And I'm sitting there thinking, is that the reason, or is there more to it? Because we really, who knows? And it is so humbling, just so you know what the market always used to be without President Trump. It would telegraph the future. In other words, it would pick up on something a month, 2 months, 3 months down the road. Now, look what we had last year. Remember that? The market was crumbling because of the president. The Liberation Day, after dropping with all the uncertainty in his yapping, Liberation Day with 150% insane tariffs. And the best guess is they were cursing each other out on the weekend. And what happened Monday? Well, it got leaked that they were going to roll things back. And you know why? Because A, the market was crashing, and B, commerce was stalling. You remember Amazon was saying, we ain't delivering. So on that Monday, it got leaked. Oh, they're rolling the whole frickin' thing back. And the Dow went up 2,500 points in minutes. But they were upset about the leak, so they came out and said, no, not true. And the market went down 2,500 points in minutes. And of course, on that Wednesday, they waited 2 days, and the market went up 2,500 points in minutes. And since back then, every time he'd add a tariff or take one off, the market would jam up or down, up or down. We never had to deal with this. And now it's the war. You know what's happened. And soon as they came off and did a ceasefire, which was April 8th, we gapped up 1,500 points. and didn't really look back at all because of a ceasefire with some intermittent crap. It really is humbling that I have to tell my peeps I don't even trust the next 5 minutes because I don't know what he's going to do in the next 5 minutes. And it is amazing that nobody is able to sit him down and say, dude, this is not a game of Risk where Kramer against Newman on the train. This is the real world, and you're going from, we got a deal, it's going to be signed tomorrow, we're talking, they need the deal, they got the deal, we got this, we got that, and then nothing. And by the way, I believe somebody took a number on how many times he has said a deal is a day or two away. 38 times. And guess what happens every time he says it? The market. And then when nothing happens, the market. So I'm just letting you know, it is humbling. And now, who the hell knows what he's going to do next? He was all over the map today, saying this, that, and the other thing. And we took hundreds of millions of barrels of oil from them, millions of barrels from Iran in a secret mission, and whatever. And now we're going to be attacking Iran and attacking them very hard. Are you resuming the bombing? Yeah, we are. And then in the next statement, oh, but we're still talking. It is humbling. It's humbling. It's humbling. And as you know, they threaten Greenland, they threaten Mexico, they threaten Canada. I can go on and on. It's humbling. And then we hear that the NBA is not going to charge Wemby with a flagrant foul when he just threw Jalen Brunson to the ground. Okay, I had to throw that in. And by the way, do not take this. I'm not ripping on the press. I'm just telling you what we are dealing with right now. So as of tonight, we're attacking the crap out of them, but we don't know if he's going to change his mind. And we say that because he's changed his mind 50 times. Back to the market. As I said to you, I named names that look like they're gone. Well, you know what else they're getting now? The building/construction names. I'm going to throw you out some symbols that are gone. PWR, AGX, GEV has completely cratered. Today, FIX, which has been a stalwart, down $112. Sterling, STRL, that had a great gap to the upside, down 9%, $71. The CEG, VST, NRG, TLN never ever got going, and they're burying them. Symbol TT and MTZ and IBP and EME broke down a week or two ago at least. So that area is now going. So just letting you know, fewer and fewer, less and less, but I have to hold out. I do not know if this is Trump related or not. And I don't know what he's going to do or say next. He was very active today. Up next. What else are we seeing? And please do not a put down. We're just stating facts of the markets. Up next, plenty. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Oracle reported, and I got it down $6 in the aftermarket to $195 and change. The World Cup starts tomorrow, just letting you know. And Rush started their tour. I don't know if I told you this or not. I watched the whole first show. It was on YouTube, and it was fantastic. I'm going to see him probably 5-6 times. And frankly, when I see him once, maybe I'll see him 10 times. I got nobody really left to see. All my favorites, I'll go see the Eagles at the Sphere one more time. If McCartney tours, I'll go see him. I'm good. All my faves got older. I'll go see Barry Manilow again. I love Barry Manilow. Do you know he was the one who did all kinds of commercial songs? Go look that up. Late breaking, Trump held a Situation Room meeting this afternoon to discuss potential new strikes against Iran. Okay. We'll see. So anyway, the Dow is down 950, and may I state for the record, I am adding this up as I speak. Whoa. Of the 950 Dow points, I'm going to say about 580 points were just two stocks, Caterpillar and Goldman. Remember what we have told you. It is ridiculous that Goldman is, let's see, Goldman will be about 23 times the mover that Nike is for Dow points, and Caterpillar is about 20. Both Nike, Verizon, and Nike. Nike should be out of the Dow. I'm going to guess Nike's an apparel, whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Amazon in and take out Nike. And as far as Verizon, I would do that one too. Too low priced. Just too low priced. So that was for the Dow, down 950. There were a few. It was very defensive. Again today, green all over my consumer staples, whether it be Colgate or the tobacco companies, the food companies, insurance very defensive, and of course with oil prices up, oil stocks had a good day, and restaurants had a good day. Hey, guess what? Cracker Barrel, yay! We never like seeing bad things happen to companies. They reported an 82% drop in earnings and an 8% drop in sales. But the stock was up 22%. It was actually better than that. They said better things. Good to see. You know what I love about Cracker Barrel, right? All the old candy in the store. Much better than expected third quarter report, really? Much better than expected, but they raised 26 guidance. Good to see. And Kava, I told you I went to Kava twice. I wanted to check it out. It was good food. They made an announcement. It got upgraded from neutral. Did they say anything? I don't see anything said. Kava was pretty good. Can't argue that. That had a good day, and other restaurants, because of Cracker Barrel, bounced also. But everything else was miserable. They whacked the stuffings out of a bunch of economically sensitive names. They took the transports today got hit. I should read you that news because that is a market-moving news. Amazon launches something called less than truckload freight offering for all businesses. It's expanding the U.S. less than truckload freight service beyond its prior inbound to Amazon model, allowing businesses to ship palletized freight to third-party warehouses, distribution centers, retail partners, and other destinations, and that eats into the truckers. So truckers got hit today. Transport's down 600. Weekday for the financials, they got Goldman for $30 today. I already mentioned the semis. Weekday for the Metals and mining, weekday for the airlines, weekday for the cruise lines, weekday for the hotels. Gold and silver yanked again. The froth got hit again. We've been warning you about that. We hope you listen, because they were out there touting again. Remember when the president announces, oh, we're taking a position in rare earth, this and that, and they jammed up for a couple days? Well, they're jamming down again. But I want to get back to the bigger story. Man, I'm going to be watching this AI semiconductor thing, because if I'm right, and 75 to 80% of the move was that, and they worsen, or God forbid they go into a bearish trend, and as we stated, there are now, looks like about a dozen that have cracked the 50-day, including NVIDIA. Which, by the way, it's done before and got right back above, but NVIDIA's still been trading very freaking weird over the last... Remember they announced that they were getting into PCs? Well, I think that stock that day was 227, closed at 221. It's back to under 200 as I speak right now. And by the way, the high of last October was 212, while their earnings were up 81%. Excuse me, my bad, 82%. And revenue up 73%, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. Crypto, should we just start calling it crapto? And we've been telling you to avoid that since November 4th. Since November 4th. One time got back above the 50, but we weren't impressed, and we just reported, hey, it's back above the 50. And by the way, the Bitcoin ETFs are down more than 50% from the high last October. But it was November 4th, cracked the 50-day, and that was party. You know what else I'm noticing today? NVIDIA breaks the 50, and so does Google. Just by a smidge. Just by a smidge. Anything redeeming today? Not really. When the market goes defensive, it buys into defensive, and that's what happened today. But defensive usually doesn't last because there's really no earnings power there. I'm looking at a Lay's potato chip bag that goes for $4.79. It's the size of the old bag that used to go for like $1, just about. And there's less chips in it. By the way, they do count the chips. I don't know if you know that. And just so you know, I speak to management at supermarkets to ask them, just what's going on and all that crap. The good news is coffee price has been coming down a lot. I doubt Starbucks is going to lower their prices. So just rough day. And I don't know what's next. Oracle now is down $10 in the aftermarket, so that's not going to be good news. And for the rest of the week, well, tomorrow's Adobe. And you know how bad that's been. And Lennar and Restoration Hardware. That'll be tomorrow. And that's really it for the week. It's not much earnings going on right now. Next week will be the first Fed meeting of the new Fed chairman. And you know what I loathe? The fair weather fans. I saw somebody out saying, what a magnificent central banker. What a great head of the central bank. The guy hasn't even been there yet. He hasn't had a meeting yet. Hope he does great things. You know what a great thing would be of this central banker? Say less, do less, listen to what the market tells you. And if the market's interest rates are going higher, do not lower rates. If the market interest rates are going lower, gives you an opportunity. If Jay Powell listened to me during COVID, you would have not had 0% for your money markets. You wouldn't have had your 3% mortgages, but you wouldn't have the housing distortions going on right now also. Hey, up next. Yeah, we'll figure it out. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So I did a little test. I just wanted to see. I test things out. I was in New Jersey this weekend, and I went on DraftKings. You can do business with DraftKings with live casinos. It's live. You go on there, and there's a live person serving up blackjack and baccarat. I did not look whether there's craps or not. There probably is. There's like everything there. I love baccarat. I love the game. Because you get to play with the cards, rip the cards, and you don't have... If you play blackjack with like 6 decks or whatever it is, you play too many hands in an hour and you don't get time to relax. Baccarat, you sit at the table, and a lot of Asians love playing the game, and you know what they love doing? They get the cards and they spend 3 minutes ripping the cards apart and then looking at them, so you don't do that many hands during an hour. And by the way, every game, the more you play, the more you have a chance to lose in casinos. Why? Because they have an edge on everything. And you know what I was just thinking to myself as I was on DraftKings? Boy, do they got you. I feel and by the way, I'm a big believer in individual responsibility. It's your life type of thing. But I feel for people that are looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And now with the gambling, you can't watch a basketball game without them coming at you. Oh, it's the first quarter's over, second quarter, and we have a special. If you bet the second quarter, we'll give you $25 to start. And of course, at the bottom, in letters Superman couldn't read, if you have a gambling problem. So they're begging you to gamble and then telling you if you have a gambling problem. So I'm sitting there on DraftKings, and all I'm doing is thinking to myself, holy crap, are we in trouble? Now, it's only in certain states. It's not in Florida. At least I know you can't do the live. I don't even know if you can do Florida. I haven't even checked if you can do sports books in Florida on DraftKings. I don't even know. But I'm on there, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness gracious. You do understand gambling. They always have an edge on you. Always. With bookies and gambling, you pay a vig. So you have to always win, not 50% to come out even. It's like 52, 53. And in gaming, in any of those games, they have an edge. And by the way, you know what casinos have been doing? They've been gaining more and more edge. You know, it used to be 3-2 blackjack in casinos, and some of them now it's just 6-5. They got you by the you-know-whats. You know what my advice has always been for all of you, right? Just be smart. When we tell you the lottery and the scratch-offs is the biggest scam in history. And the marketing, you never know, and all that, and people are smart, and I win it. I'm just hoping you're all smart. I've met people that became gambleholics and went broke, that made a lot of money. And now this country, they are driving to the frickin' hoop, no pun intended, coming at you with every type of gambling going on now. Every type. Go watch the basketball game tonight. Watch how many times they come at you. Oh, if you want to bet on the rebounds, Karl Anthony Towns is over under 8. And if you want to bet that, we'll give you $10 to start. So just letting you know, I was testing it out, and I'm just sitting there watching this, and I'm thinking, boy, somebody who does not have control is in big, big trouble. And if you've ever been in casinos, there are a lot of people that are out of control. And you can tell cannot afford it. So just word to the wise, Think logically, think smart, know when they got you, whether it's by the VIG or the edge in the casino games. They got you. And the more you play, I've always been good in casinos because I leave when I'm up. The more you play, the more you're going to give it back when you're up. Just letting you know. And again, we say this telling you, hey, I enjoy it. When I'm in Vegas, I'll go to a casino. But you got to be smart. Same thing when we talk to you about the credit cards. Pay it off every month. Don't pay them 24% or whatever the hell that number is. That's sickening. Absolutely sick at 24%. Kiss mine. Anyway, back on point. Crappy day. I have no clue about tomorrow. Oracle's down $7 right now. We'll see what that does. Losing some sponsorship in the semis and AI area. But I will say again, it felt like every time the market tried to get going, they were trying to send the semis and AI up. We'll see if that continues. But if I can come on this show again tomorrow and say, 8 more stocks broke the 50-day in that area, that's what we mean by gauging the market and getting smart about the market. Remember, there's a process in the market of topping and bottoming and ascending and descending. We're not sure where this is headed, but we have the eyes wide open. The S&P today did not break the 50-day, but got back a lot, dropped a lot of the reversal yesterday. The NASDAQ did not break the 50-day, but it's getting close. NASDAQ 100, not even kind of close. The semiconductor index, which was a moonshot, getting heavier. That's the best way I can explain it. Heavier. Tomorrow's another day, and of course, tomorrow's another day. Who knows what the president's going to decide tonight and tomorrow. You all have a great evening. Drive carefully. Go Knicks. And when you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family, hug your children. They will feel better. You'll feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. I wish I drank, but I don't. Good night, all. Bye-bye.